In a small town, tucked away from the bustling cities, lived a teenager named Jake. He was an ordinary boy with an extraordinary dream: to explore the stars and discover new worlds. But lately, Jake felt lost. His best friend Mia had moved to another city, far away from their shared adventures. Every day, Jake looked out at the sky, wishing he could reach out to her. But the distance between them felt like an endless void. Jake and Mia had been inseparable since childhood. They spent countless hours playing in the park, dreaming up wild stories of space travel and alien encounters. They created their own universe, where they were heroes fighting against evil forces. But now, with Mia gone, Jake felt like a lone astronaut lost in space, drifting without direction. Every time he picked up his phone, he hesitated. What could he say to Mia that she hadn't already heard? They had promised to keep in touch, but as the days turned into weeks, the silence grew louder. Jake missed their laughter, their inside jokes, and the comfort of knowing that someone understood him completely. He felt a deep sadness in his heart, but he also held on to a flicker of hope. One evening, as Jake sat on his bed staring at the stars through his window, he remembered their dreams. "We were supposed to explore the universe together," he whispered to himself. The thought sparked something inside him. Instead of letting the distance pull him down, he could be proactive. He could reach out and reconnect with Mia, just like they used to do when they fought against imaginary foes. Jake jumped up, filled with determination. He grabbed his laptop and opened up a blank document. This is it, he thought. We would write her a letter, just like they used to do in their childhood. He would pour out his feelings, share his adventures, and remind her of the dreams they had crafted together. As he began to type, words flowed like a river. He wrote about his days, how he missed their long talks, and the way they used to plan their future trips to the stars. He wrote about how he sometimes felt like he was in a battle against loneliness, but he was still fighting. With each line, he felt lighter, as if he were bridging the gap that separated them. After finishing the letter, Jake hesitated again. What if Mia didn't feel the same way? What if she had made new friends and forgotten all about him? But down, he knew he had to try. He clicked send, and with that small action, he felt a surge of hope. It was a leap of faith, a battle cry against the silence that had taken hold of their friendship. Days passed, and Jake anxiously checked his phone, hoping for a reply. Then, one afternoon, a notification lit up his screen. It was from Mia. His heart raced as he opened the message. "Jake, I miss you so much. I've been thinking about you too. Let's catch up soon." A wave of joy washed over him. The distance that had felt insurmountable suddenly seemed smaller. They began to exchange messages, sharing their lives and dreams once more. Jake felt a renewed sense of connection, as if the universe was aligning for them. He realized that, even across miles, their friendship could thrive. They decided to set up a video call. The moment Mia's face appeared on the screen, Jake felt a rush of familiarity and warmth. They laughed, talked about their new lives, and shared their hopes for the future. It was as if no time had passed at all. As they signed off, Jake felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. They had fought against the distance, and they had won. Their friendship was stronger than any obstacle. In that moment, Jake understood the true power of connection. It's just like humanity against the galactic empire. They had faced a challenge and emerged victorious. He realized that even when separated by great distances, love and friendship could bridge any gap with hope in his heart. Jake gazed out at the stars, dreaming of new adventures this time, with Mia by his side once more. He knew that together, they could conquer anything, just as they had always imagined. After all, they had told the universe not to try and pull them apart, and the universe had listened. After their heartwarming video call, Jake felt a new wave of energy. The connection with Mia had reignited his spirit, but he still felt a pang of sadness at the distance between them. Though they had spoken, Jake knew that seeing each other in person would be even better. He longed for the day when they could go back to their adventures, exploring their favorite spots and dreaming about the stars together. But how could he make that happen? The thought lingered in his mind. Mia lived far away now, and the idea of traveling to see her felt daunting. Jake felt like a small ship lost in a vast ocean, unsure of where to navigate. He wanted to reach out and pull her closer, but the miles seemed like an unbridgeable divide. One afternoon, while wandering through the park where he and Mia used to play, Jake noticed a group of children flying kites. Their laughter filled the air, and he couldn't help but smile at the sight. It reminded him of the carefree days he had shared with Mia, running through the grass and dreaming big. Inspired, he thought of a way to take action, to reach out to her in a way that would show how much he cared. Jake decided to organize a kite-flying event at the park. He would invite Mia to join him virtually, and they could share the experience together, even from a distance. It was an idea that made him excited. Kites were a symbol of freedom and connection. They could soar high above the ground, just like their friendship. He rushed home and began planning the event. He created colorful invitations, decorated with drawings of kites and stars. He included a message for Mia: "Join me in the park. Let's fly kites together, even if we're far apart. I'll send you a kite you can fly in your backyard." After sending the invitations to his friends and family, he focused on the most important part: the kite for Mia. He wanted it to be special, something that would remind her of their bond. He'd gathered materials: bright paper, string, and stick sand. Set to work creating a beautiful kite. As he crafted it, he felt a wave of hope wash over him. This would be a gesture of their friendship, a way to reconnect despite the distance. Jake spent hours designing the kite, pouring his thoughts and feelings into it. He painted it with vibrant colors, adding stars and clouds to reflect their dreams of flying through the universe. With each stroke, he felt as if he were weaving their friendship back together, stitch by stitch. When the kite was finally complete, Jake stepped outside to test it. He ran across the open field, feeling the wind catch the fabric. The kite soared into the sky, dancing with the breeze. Watching it fly high filled him with joy. "This is for you, Mia," he whispered, imagining her laughter as she flew her own kite. On the day of the event, Jake set up a picnic in the park with snacks and drinks, excitedly waiting for his friends to arrive. He felt a mix of nervousness and anticipation, hoping Mia would join in the fun. When it was time, he opened his laptop and connected to the video call. Mia's face appeared on the screen, and Jake's heart raced with excitement. "Hey, Jake." "I'm ready," Mia cheered, holding up her own kite. It was a bright yellow, decorated with smiley faces and stars. Jake couldn't help but smile. "Look at yours. It's perfect," replied, feeling a surge of happiness. Together, they shared the moment. Flying their kites under the open sky, Jake in the park, and Mia in her backyard. As the kites danced in the wind, they laughed and talked, just like they used to. They shared stories, dreams, and even silly jokes. The distance that had once felt so heavy began to fade away. In that moment, they were not two friends separated by miles. They were united, soaring together in their own little universe. The sun began to set, painting the sky with colors that mirrored the kites they were flying. Jake felt a warmth in his heart, knowing that no matter how far apart they were, their friendship could withstand anything. They had fought against the distance together, just like the humans battling the galactic empire, refusing to let anything come between them. As they ended the call, Jake smiled, feeling hopeful and inspired. He realized that distance was just a challenge to overcome. They had shown the universe that their connection was strong, and they would continue to fight for it. No matter what, they would always find a way to reconnect and keep their dreams alive. After all, they had told the universe not to try and pull them apart, and they would keep proving that they were more powerful together. After the kite-flying event, Jake felt a renewed sense of hope. Connecting with Mia had reminded him of the strength of their friendship, but he also knew that he had to keep the momentum going. It wasn't enough to just have one fun day together. He wanted to build something lasting and meaningful. He began to think of ways to keep their bond strong. Despite the miles that separated them, Jake spent the next few days brainstorming ideas. He wanted to create a tradition that would allow them to share their lives even when they were apart. As he sat in his room, he remembered how they used to write stories together. They would take turns adding to a tale, letting their imaginations soar. A light bulb went off in his head. Why not start a story together again? But this time, they could do it online? With excitement bubbling inside him, Jake sat down at his laptop and opened a new document. He typed a message to Mia. "Hey, how about we write a story together and create our own universe where we are the heroes again? What do you think?" He pressed send, feeling a mix of anticipation and nervousness. Would she be interested in this idea? A few moments later, his phone buzzed. It was a reply from Mia. "That sounds amazing. Can't wait to get started." Jake felt a burst of joy. They were going to embark on a new adventure. Even from a distance, they decided to meet over video chat every week to work on their story. Each session was filled with laughter and creativity. They crafted a tale about two brave friends exploring distant galaxies, facing challenges that tested their courage and teamwork. As they wrote, they found themselves drawing on their real-life experiences, turning their feelings of distance and longing into powerful moments in the story. During one of their sessions, Mia said, "Writing this story makes me feel closer to you. It's like we're right there together, fighting against whatever comes our way." Jake nodded, feeling the same way. They were not just writing, they were reinforcing their bond, reminding each other that no distance could break their connection. As the weeks passed, their story grew. They filled it with adventures, battles against imaginary foes, and the joy of discovery. With each chapter, Jake felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. They were creating something beautiful together, and it brought them closer than he had ever thought possible. However, Jake still felt the weight of the distance sometimes. The nights were particularly hard. He missed the simple things, hanging out at the park, watching movies together, or just sitting in comfortable silence. One night, he decided to reach out to Mia again. He sent her a message. "I really miss you, Mia. I wish we could hang out like we used to." Mia replied quickly. "I miss you too, Jake. Sometimes it feels like the distance is too much. But remember, we have our story, and we're still in this together." Her words reassured him, but he knew that they needed a way to take their friendship further. Then, an idea struck him. What if they organized a weekend adventure? Even if it had to be virtual, they could choose a theme like a space exploration. Weekend and plan activities to do separately, but together. Jake shared the idea with Mia, who loved it. They both began to brainstorm what they could do. On the chosen weekend, they dressed up in costumes inspired by their story characters. Jake wore a makeshift space helmet made of cardboard, while Mia wore a sparkly cape, pretending to be a fearless space captain. They connected over video chat, laughing at each other's outfits. They planned a series of challenges. First, they would create space-themed snacks. Jake made a galactic smoothie with vibrant fruits, while Mia baked planet cookies decorated with icing. They shared their culinary creations, cheering each other on as they tasted their food. Next, transformed their living rooms into spaceships. Jake used chairs and blankets to build a fort, while Mia set up her own spaceship with pillows and fairy lights. They took turns describing their missions as if they were exploring uncharted planets. They laughed, cheered, and even pretended to encounter friendly aliens as the night wore on. They settled down to watch their favorite sci-fi movie together, syncing it up so they could enjoy it at the same time. Sitting in their makeshift spaceships, they felt the comfort of each other's presence. Even through the screen, by the end of the weekend, Jake felt a sense of fulfillment. They had turned what could have been a lonely experience into an unforgettable adventure. It was a reminder that they could create joy and connection out of any situation, just like the heroes in their story. As they wrapped up their weekend, Jake realized that he had faced the distance with hope and creativity. They had fought against the barriers that tried to separate them, just like humanity standing strong against the galactic empire. He understood that their friendship was a powerful force, capable of overcoming any challenge. Together, they had proven that distance was not a barrier, but an opportunity to grow even closer. They had told the universe not to try and pull them apart. They would keep fighting for their connection, one adventure at a time. After their successful virtual weekend adventure, Jake felt a rush of happiness. He and Mia had created memories that made the distance between them feel less significant. However, as time passed, he couldn't shake the sadness that sometimes crept back in. Even though they were writing a story and having fun together, he still missed her physically. He longed for the day when they could be together in person again. Jake often found himself daydreaming about the adventures they would have when they reunited. Would they explore the same park where they used to play? Would they travel to new places together? These thoughts filled him with hope, but they also made him feel distant. What if the reunion didn't live up to his dreams? What if they had changed too much? One evening, as Jake sat at his desk, he looked at the story they had been writing. It was filled with excitement, courage, and exploration. The two main characters, drawn from themselves, faced challenges together and emerged victorious. Suddenly, Jake had an idea. Why not turn their story into a comic? They could illustrate their adventures, bringing their characters to life even more vividly. This could be a project that would connect them creatively while allowing them to express their feelings. Without wasting any time, Jake began sketching the first pages. He drew the characters, each one reflecting their traits and personalities. The brave space captain, modeled after Mia, had a sparkle in her eye that embodied her spirit. The clever co-pilot, inspired by himself, wore a determined expression as he helped navigate their ship through dangerous territory. As he worked, he felt a sense of purpose. This comic could be their way to share their dreams and adventures with each other. Once he finished the first few pages, Jake decided to send them to Mia. He wrote a message. "I started drawing our story as a comic. I want to share it with you. We could work on it together." He pressed send, his heart racing with excitement. A few moments later, Mia replied, "Wow, I love the idea. I can't wait to see what you've created. Let's do this together." Jake felt a wave of relief and joy wash over him. They were going to turn their dreams into something tangible, and it would be a fun way to reconnect. They scheduled a video call to discuss their new project. When they connected, Mia's face lit up as she saw the pages Jake had drawn. "These are amazing," she exclaimed. "You really captured our characters. I can't wait to add my part." They spent hours brainstorming ideas for their comic. They decided to include new adventures that they had dreamed of experiencing together. From battling space pirates to discovering hidden planets, every idea fueled their excitement. Jake loved how enthusiastic Mia was about the project, and it reminded him that their friendship was still strong. As they worked on the comic together, they began to share more personal stories. They talked about their life, school, friends, and the challenges they faced being apart. Jake opened up about his feelings of loneliness and how much he missed Mia. "Sometimes, I feel like the distance is too much," he admitted. "But creating this comic makes me feel close to you." Mia nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. "I feel the same way. It's hard, but I know we can get through it together. Our friendship is strong, just like the heroes in our story." Jake felt a wave of comfort at her words. They were not just creating a comic. They were reinforcing the foundation of their friendship, reminding each other that they could overcome anything. Every comic page they worked on became a symbol of their bond, a reminder that together they could fight against any distance. Their project continued to grow, and with each illustration, Jake felt more hopeful. They established a routine meeting up every week to work on their comic. As they collaborated, they laughed, shared ideas, and inspired each other. The distance that once felt heavy began to lighten, replaced by a sense of connection and purpose. One day during their call, Mia suggested they include a final chapter in their comic, where the characters finally reunite after a long journey. "I want our story to end with hope," she said. "The characters should prove that no matter how far apart they are, they can always find their way back to each other." Jake loved the idea. "That's perfect. It reflects our friendship. No matter the distance, we'll always find a way back together." As they worked on the final chapter, Jake felt a sense of fulfillment. They were not just fighting against the distance. They were celebrating their bond. Their comic had become a testament to their friendship, showcasing the strength they had built together. In that moment, Jake realized that distance was just a challenge to overcome. Like the humans in their story, they had faced obstacles and emerged victorious. They had told the universe not to try and pull them apart. They were proving it every day. As they finished the last page, Jake felt a rush of pride. They'd created something beautiful together, a reflection of their friendship, and resilience. No matter where life took them, he knew that they would always be connected, ready to face any adventure that lay ahead. As Jake and Mia finished their comic, excitement filled the air. It poured their hearts into every page, creating a story that reflected their friendship and the challenges they faced being apart. However, even as they celebrated their accomplishment, Jake felt a familiar sadness creeping back in. Completing the comic felt like a milestone. But it also reminded him of how much he missed Mia in real life. One afternoon, Jake sat on his bed, flipping through the finished comic, admired the colorful illustrations and the adventures they had created. However, the happiness of their achievement was mixed with a longing to see Mia face to face. He wanted to experience the joy of sharing a laugh in person, to feel the warmth of her presence beside him. But he felt unsure if that day would ever come. Jake decided to reach out to Mia. He sent her a message. "I love our comic, but I really miss you. I wish we could hang out in person like we used to. You think we could meet up someday?" He hesitated, worrying about how she would respond. Would she feel the same way? Did she miss him too? A few moments later, Mia replied, "I miss you too, Jake. I've been thinking about how great it would be to see each other again. But it feels so far away, doesn't it?" Her words made Jake's heart ache. They both felt the distance, but it was comforting to know they shared the same feelings. Jake wanted to find a way to make their reunion happen. After some thought, he had an idea. "What if I come to visit you? I could save up some money and plan a trip. We could explore your new city together and create new memories." Mia's response came quickly. "That would be amazing. I'd love to show you around. But I know travel can be expensive. Are you sure you want to do that?" "Right." Jake felt a surge of determination. He wanted to show Mia that their friendship was worth the effort. "Yes, I'm sure I'll figure it out. We fought against the distance in our story, and I want to fight for our friendship in real life too." Plan in mind, Jake set to work. He started saving money from his part-time job, cutting back on little things like snacks and video games. Every dollar he saved felt like a step closer to reuniting with Mia. He even created a countdown calendar, marking the days until he hoped to visit her. As weeks went by, Jake remained focused on his goal, kept in touch with Mia, sharing updates about his savings and discussing all the fun things they would do when they finally met. They talked about visiting the local arcade, going to a movie, and even trying new foods together. Each conversation filled Jake with hope, reminding him of the joy that awaited them. One evening, while counting his savings, Jake received a surprising message from Mia. "Guess what? My parents said I could come visit you instead. I can't wait to see you. We can have an adventure in your town." Jake's heart soared with happiness. "Really? That's amazing. When can you come?" They quickly made arrangements, and before he knew it, they had planned a weekend when Mia would visit. The thought of seeing her in person made Jake giddy. With excitement, as the day approached, Jake felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. He wanted everything to be perfect. He cleaned his room, made a list of things to do, and even invited some friends to join them. He couldn't wait to show Mia everything he loved about his town. When the day finally arrived, Jake stood by the front door, anxiously checking the time. He felt like a hero awaiting the arrival of a vital ally in battle. Moments later, he heard a knock. His heart raced as he opened the door, and there stood Mia, smiling brightly. "Jake," she exclaimed, wrapping her arms around him in a warm hug. "I'm so happy to be here." "Me too," Jake replied, feeling the warmth of their friendship envelop him like a cozy blanket.
Oh.
In that moment, all the distance, all the uncertainty melted away. They were together again, ready to create new memories, as they spent the weekend exploring Jake's town. They laughed, shared stories, and enjoyed each other's company. They visited the park where they had spent countless hours as kids, flew kites, and even tried to recreate some of the adventures from their comic. It felt surreal and magical to be side by side again. On the final day of Mia's visit, they sat on the swings, catching their breath after a fun-filled day. "I can't believe we made this happen," Mia said, looking at Jake with a smile. "It feels like we've been on an epic journey." Jake nodded, feeling a sense of pride. "We fought against the distance, just like our characters did." Mia added, This is just the beginning. No matter where life takes us, we can always find a way back to each other. In that moment, Jake realized that their friendship was stronger than any obstacles they faced. They had proven that love and connection could conquer any distance. Just like the humans in their story, they had faced challenges and emerged victorious. As they walked home, hand in hand, Jake felt hopeful for the future. They had told the universe not to try and pull them apart, and together, they would continue to create their own adventures, side by side. After Mia's visit, Jake felt a happiness he hadn't experienced in a long time. The joy of spending time with his best friend filled him with energy and hope. But as the days passed, he noticed a familiar sadness creeping back in. Mia had returned home, and although their memories of the weekend were fresh, the distance between them loomed large once more. Jake sat at his desk one evening, flipping through pictures from their time together. They were filled with laughter, fun, and the warmth of friendship. Each image reminded him of the connection they had, but it also made him feel lonely. He missed her smile, her jokes, and the way they could talk about anything for hours. The distance felt heavy, and he wondered how they could keep that spark alive. As he looked at the photos, an idea began to form in his mind. Instead of waiting for Mia to come back, what if he took the initiative to keep the connection strong? They had already conquered physical distance once. Surely they could find ways to bridge the gap again. Jake decided he would create a series of challenges for them, fun, creative tasks they could do together, even if they were apart. The next day, Jake sent Mia a message. "Hey, I have an idea. Let's do a monthly challenge together. Each month we can choose something fun to create or try and share our progress. What do you think?" A few moments later, Mia replied, "I love that idea. It sounds like a great way to stay connected. Let's make it our own adventure." With excitement, they brainstormed their first challenge. They decided to create a video diary, documenting their thoughts and experiences over a month. They would share their lives, hopes, and even struggles, just like their comic characters. It would be a way to stay involved in each other's lives. Even from afar, Jake spent the next few days preparing for the challenge. He set up a corner of his room with a colorful backdrop, complete with fairy lights and drawings from their comic. He wanted to create a space that felt inspiring and fun, a reflection of their friendship. Every evening, he recorded his thoughts and experiences, speaking directly to the camera as if he were talking to Mia. As he shared his day, Jake felt a sense of relief. Talking to the camera helped him process his feelings and reminded him that Mia was still a part of his life, even if they were miles apart. He described his classes at school, his work, and his dreams for the future. He even included moments when he felt sad, knowing that sharing his struggles would strengthen their bond. After a week, Jake sent his first video to Mia. He felt a mix of excitement and nerves as he hit the send button. Would she enjoy it? Would it help her feel connected to? Mia responded with enthusiasm. "I loved your video. It felt like I was right there with you. I can't wait to share my own video with you." Over the month, they exchanged videos regularly. They laughed at each other's silly moments, shared their achievements, and opened up about their feelings. The videos became a lifeline, allowing them to stay connected and feel less distant. Jake loved seeing Mia smile and hearing her voice, even through the screen. One day, while Jake was recording his latest entry, he had a sudden idea. "Mia," he said into the camera, "let's take this challenge a step further. How about we plan our next visit through our videos? We can create a dream itinerary for our next adventure together." Mia loved the suggestion. "That's a fantastic idea. Let's plan the best day ever. It can include all the things we want to do and see." As they discussed their plans, Jake felt a surge of excitement. They talked about visiting an amusement park, going hiking, and trying new foods. They mapped out their dream day, filled with laughter and joy, planning their next adventure together. Made the distance feel smaller and gave them something to look forward to. However, as the month continued, Jake faced challenges. School became overwhelming, and he felt the pressure of assignments piling up. Some nights he didn't have the energy to record a video or connect with Mia. He worried that he might let her down, but every time he thought about skipping a video, he He remembered their friendship. He thought about how they had fought against distance before and how they could do it again. He picked up his camera and shared his struggles with Mia. "I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now," he admitted, "but I want to keep our challenge alive." Mia's response was encouraging. "You're doing great, Jake. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. Just remember, we're in this together. You're not alone." Her words reminded him that they were a team. They had faced challenges in their comic, and they could face challenges in real life too. Inspired by their shared determination, Jake pushed through the tough days. As the month came to an end, they wrapped up their video diary challenge with a final entry. They smiled and celebrated their accomplishments, reflecting on how their friendship had grown. Jake felt a sense of pride. They had fought against the distance and emerged stronger, just like the heroes in their story. In that moment, he realized that their connection was like a powerful force, able to conquer any obstacle. It told the universe not to try and pull them apart, and together they would continue to thrive, no matter the distance. As Jake and Mia completed their video diary challenge, something remarkable had happened. The distance that once felt like an insurmountable wall had transformed into something manageable. They had created a rhythm of connection that made their friendship stronger than ever before. However, Jake knew that this was just the beginning of their journey together. One evening, as Jake reviewed all their videos from the past month, he realized how much they had both grown. They had shared their fears, celebrated their victories, and supported each other through difficult times. The videos had become a treasure trove of memories, documenting not just their daily lives but the evolution of their friendship. Jake felt proud of what they had accomplished together, but as he watched their final video, a new idea sparked in his mind. What if they could inspire other people who were facing similar challenges? What if they could share their story and help others who felt distant from the people they cared about? Jake had always believed that their friendship was special, but now he realized it could be a beacon of hope for others. The next morning, Jake called Mia with his idea. "What if we create a blog or a website about our friendship? We could share our story, our challenges, and the creative ways we've stayed connected. Maybe we could help other people who are dealing with long-distance friendships." Mia's voice lit up with excitement. "That's an amazing idea. We could call it Distance Fighters or something like that. We could share our comic, our videos, and all the activities we've done together." They spent the next few weeks working on their website. Jake designed the layout while Mia wrote their story, explaining how they had met the challenge of distance head-on. They included photos from their adventures, pages from their comic, and excerpts from their video diaries. Most importantly, they shared practical ideas for others who wanted to maintain strong friendships across miles as they worked on the project. Jake felt a sense of purpose he had never experienced before. They weren't just fighting for their own friendship anymore. They were fighting for the idea that distance couldn't defeat human connection. They were proving that with creativity, determination, and hope, any obstacle could be overcome. When they launched their website, the response was incredible. Messages poured in from people around the world who had been inspired by their story. A girl from Australia wrote about how she had reconnected with her childhood friend using their video diary idea. A teenager from Canada shared how he had started a comic project with his best friend who had moved to another province. Each message filled Jake with joy and confirmed that their friendship had become something bigger than themselves. One message particularly touched Jake's heart. It was from a young boy whose family had moved to a different country, leaving his best friend behind. The boy wrote, "Your story gave me hope. I thought I would never feel close to my friend again, but now I know that distance is just a challenge to overcome. Thank you for showing me that friendship can survive anything." Reading these messages, Jake realized that their journey had come full circle. It had started as two friends struggling with separation, but they had become champions of connection. They had faced the challenge of distance like brave warriors, refusing to let it defeat them. Just like the humans in their comic who had told the Galactic Empire not to try and conquer them. They had told the universe not to try and pull them apart. As months passed, Jake and Mia continued to update their website with new adventures and challenges. They organized virtual events where people could participate in long-distance friendship activities. They created a community of distance fighters who supported each other through the ups and downs of maintaining connections across miles. 1 year after Mia had first moved away, they sat together on a video call looking at their websites. Visitor counter. Thousands of people had visited their site, and hundreds had shared their own stories of triumph over distance. Jake felt a deep sense of satisfaction. They had not only saved their own friendship, but had helped countless others do the same. "Look what we've built," Mia said, her eyes shining with pride. "We started with just missing each other, and now we're helping people all over the world." Jake nodded, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. "We proved that humans don't give up. We fight for what matters to us, told the universe that distance couldn't defeat us, and we were right." As they ended their call that evening, Jake looked out at the stars, the same stars that Mia could see from her window miles away. He no longer felt sad about the distance between them. Instead, he felt hopeful about all the adventures still to come, and proud of what they had accomplished together. Their friendship had become a testament to human resilience and creativity. They had shown that, with determination, innovation, and hope, any challenge could be overcome. Just like the brave humans in their story, they had faced the impossible and emerged victorious. They had told the universe not to try and separate them, and they had won.